State Representative Lupe Diaz wants to see a state gas tax holiday that could save us all a lot of money at the pump. But will Democrats even consider it? And Governor Katie Hobbs has twice vetoed a bill that would bring the state tax law into conformity with federal. She refuses to talk to Republicans about a compromise. Let's go. And welcome back, everyone. I am your host for this episode of the podcast, Southwest of Center. Our guest, as I said, is Lupe Diaz, the LD 19, Legislative District 19 representative at the State House. And Lupe, welcome back for now, fifth or sixth time?
Well, good.
Yeah, no, it's
this
good.
Is good to do.
It is. So we are going to update the folks on everything that's happening in the state capitol. We got a lot to cover in a short time. So let's start with HB 2400. A fuel tax holiday, which I think way back in the distant past has been tried before, but it's especially impactful now with the way gas prices are fluctuating. What do we want to do with this?
That's an interesting bill. What it does, it just puts a holiday on the fuel tax that we as citizens pay,
which is 11 to 17 cents, something like that, maybe more.
It's up to 18 cents.
18 cents.
Yes, it's 18 cents. So what it's gonna do, it's just giving us a moratorium until for 4 months. It'll be up through September or so.
So this would be a 4-month moratorium on the tax?
On the fuel tax.
That would make a heck of a difference, but what impact would that have on the state budget?
It won't have an impact on the state budget as much as it would on the local communities because of the HERF, the highway user funds.
The money's allocated to the various areas for use on roadways.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And
I'll quit interrupting. Go ahead and tell us where we're at with this.
Well, that one is interesting because of the and the reason that the gas prices are going up right now is because of the war that's happening in Iran.
Yeah.
And so there's been all of the tankers aren't getting through, and the oil prices are going up. And as citizens of the United States, I think that we need to understand that we are at war. And, it's going to cost us something because we are at war. And what we're at war over is the fact that Iran was building nuclear armaments.
Right.
And we needed to stop that as a country. So
I don't understand why so many people have lost sight of that simple basic fact.
That's right.
And I want to tell you something. I did a little bit of research digging on this topic because it is so important. And I discovered that when you account for inflation, gas is cheaper per gallon today than it was during the first Gulf War.
Right.
By a lot.
Yes.
By about 20-25%.
It is.
So we've been through this before. We survived. We made it. It's a little bit of a sacrifice. So I go and I fill up my car, and instead of it being 45, it's 58 or 61. Big deal. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can, and
we survived it before.
Yeah, and I'm not being flipped for people that are on tight budgets. I'm retired. I'm on a fixed budget.
Yep.
But in my mind, for the trade-off of avoiding nuclear, at the very least, being held hostage by a nuclear-armed Iran, and they would use it.
Oh yeah.
The trade-off is pretty simple.
Yes, it is. And and those Iranians are crazy. Absolutely.
The leadership.
They would use it. The leadership. The
mullahs.
The mullahs and the tyrants are. And when we first struck, the people were rejoicing over the fact that we destroyed the leadership, the tyranny, the
top tier.
The top tier. They were rejoicing over that fact.
Yeah.
So, but that top tier is crazy, and so they would have used it.
Yeah.
And they're still attacking some of the tankers and different things that are out there in the Strait of Hormuz. And so we have to realize that we are at war right now. And so what we're trying to do with this HB 2400 is, and the tax moratorium, is to give you a fuel break. That's our way of
up
saying
to 18 cents a gallon.
Up to 18 cents a gallon, yeah, and it could, but the the fallout on that one is going to be that the HERF, the highway user funds, aren't going to be coming to the town, cities, and counties, and so we've heard about that as well.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. So the other thing that we're trying to do, and what this one also does, is we're also wanting to backfill some of that through the general fund.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
so we want to be able to help the county.
We have a
cities, and
surplus.
towns. We do not have a surplus,
Okay.
but we're
I thought we did.
We do not have a surplus. If it is, it's only $54 million. It's not very much. I've heard different numbers, and so what we're doing is we're just allocating and making that a priority to be able to try to get that done. So it's hit a hiccup. This bill has hit a hiccup.
A big one.
A pretty big hiccup. Yeah, it has hit a pretty big hiccup. It went over to the Senate, and what happens with bills is that anybody can go ahead and put a strike everything on it. So it eliminates the intent of the bill, which it did, and now it's become something else. And we're at this late stage of the session, which we need to cover as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next.
We're at the late stages of the session where this last week was the last week that bills were actually being heard. Today's the last day.
Well, for people that are not aware of the dates, this is being recorded on the 27th of March.
Okay, that's right.
So yeah, today's the last day for bills to be
heard in committee.
Heard in committee.
Yeah,
okay.
and there's some special committees. Well, one of the special committees is going to be your appropriations, which I'm on, and we'll continue to meet. So a lot of people will reroute some of the bills and put them in appropriations, trying to get them through. So this bill, specifically the one I'm talking about, the highway, fuel holiday.
Fuel holiday, right.
The
State tax.
State tax, state fuel tax holiday. It's got a hiccup. There was a strike everything on it that says that we should rely on the federal government's money to come through if California closes their refineries.
Well, they've been closed. They've been doing that now for some years.
Yeah, but I just didn't understand that one. So where we are at that one is it's kind of in limbo right now.
Well, what's Democratic caucus say about it? Are they opposed?
I'm not really sure. I don't remember the count on that one.
How about the Republican?
Republicans were all on.
So unanimous.
It was unanimous coming out of the House.
Okay.
Now that it's got a different intent with the strike everything, I think it's going to run into some. It's being held right now in rules. So
well, if it were to pass, would the original intent survive? I mean, there would be a tax holiday.
It depends, and everything depends. It just depends if there's a senator there that will go ahead and call that a hostile amendment and go and pull that off, and they'll vote on the amendment. And if the amendment fails, then it goes back to the original intent. So you have the bill in the Senate, and you have an amendment, and then so they'll vote on the amendment. If the amendment succeeds, then that original intent will go away, and then it'll continue. But if it fails, then the original intent will continue to move forward.
This is the sausage making that you're talking about. It's ugly.
Oh,
and the bottom line is, where's this bill going to be by the end of the legislature, and will it actually give us a tax holiday, do you think?
It would be great to have the tax holiday, but I don't know.
Too much in limbo right now.
Too much in limbo right now. But I did want to inform everybody of what we're trying to do. We're trying to help. We're trying to help save people some money at the gas pump.
And that leads to the conformity bill that we have discussed every time we've met,
right?
Which would save money on tax, child care,
right?
Senior taxes.
That's right.
Across the board. The governor, Katie Hobbs,
right.
She vetoed that twice, right?
She has vetoed that twice.
Yes, and now there's a stalemate, and she's just not talking to you about it.
She still has our second, our second one that she vetoed, and we're holding on to that one for now. So we're still working the conformity bill was that portion of the of the budget that conforms our
To the-
taxes to the H1 or the big beautiful bill.
Federal tax code, which was revised.
Right.
And state tax code is supposed to come into conformity with that.
Right. And
so that's what you're trying to do.
And it was really interesting because Governor Hobbs told the Department of Revenue to move on the full conformity on our tax forms. So when you're filing your taxes, you're filing it on the full conformity bill, the very
based on the federal bill.
Based on the federal bill, the very bill that she vetoed, which doesn't make sense.
Well, people are going to have to amend their tax returns.
We don't know that yet. Another one.
There's a good chance of it.
It could. We don't know that yet.
All right.
I don't want to put everybody out there. However, you're saying that there's a good chance of that. I just filed my tax forms.
Yes.
I mean my taxes, and my accountant says, "Well, I've got a pile over here that we may need to amend because of the conformity."
Okay, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
That's right. So this is a tax. This is a tax person who understands taxes very well, and she does a great job, and she's got a pile going.
Well, we have a CPA that does ours.
Yep.
Owe $314 to the state, but I may hold off on paying that until I know what's going on. I mean, we have until April
that's right.
15th.
April 15th.
So
I'm telling people not to.
I'm not going to tell people to do that, but
No. And a lot of this will not, everybody asks me, well, when do you think we'll be getting out of session? Because that has a lot to do when.
There's a 100-day limit. So that 100th day falls when?
I think that one falls April 17th.
Okay.
I think it's right around April 15th, 13th or the 17th.
But as in previous years, you're going to have to override that.
We're going to have to override that.
Because you're going to go all the way into June.
I plan on June every year that I've been up there. I plan until June. I have some of our freshmen that are come in and say, when are we getting out of session? And I'm thinking, don't plan anything. Don't plan anything until after June 30th.
Wow.
After June 30th, because you may be called in. Now during this time, it's really, and I'm looking forward to that because this has been a very intense legislative session. And
I know it has been very busy.
We have we'll get a break or two in between while we wait on some of the negotiations to continue, and so that'll be welcomed. That'll be really, really good because we do spend a lot of time up there, and I mean, once you wake up, it is just go, and go through. Most of the time, we're spending 12 hours up there just moving.
Lupe, that's what keeps you looking so young and so relaxed.
I tell everybody it's the gospel bird. It's the preservatives in the chickens.
Well, I don't care what it is, but somehow you're surviving.
Yeah. It's amazing. It really is amazing. God has been good.
Well, you are blessed, but it's a lot of work.
Oh, it is a lot of work.
You like it though.
I do like it. I do like it. And this year, I feel like I'm in the middle of it, and it's moving. I've been able to keep up.
Like being in the middle of a blender.
And you pick up pieces as they go by,
Yeah.
Or you feel like you're in the blender too. But no, it's been a good session. It's been a very, very busy session, and like you said, making the sausage can be pretty ugly, and there's twists and turns.
Have you ever seen sausage made?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's just a mess. Like the state legislature.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well, so we've got a gas tax holiday bill in limbo.
In limbo.
Conformity
Right now,
bill is at a stalemate.
Right. That's and the thing that pushes everything to come to a conclusion is going to be our deadline, and we cannot go past. Well, we're the legislature. We can make anything happen.
Yeah.
Like going beyond June 31st.
Right.
We can recess
and then come back.
And June 31st becomes June 31st for another 3 days if we don't gavel out.
Oh, wow.
We can do it.
You can move the sun.
Well, pretty much.
Wow. For 3 days. I had no idea you had so much power.
We could, that has to be agreed on. But yes, we could do that if we needed to, which I don't want to do. I would rather honestly, I would like to stay to our constitutional 100 days.
Well,
that's
not going to happen this year.
Oh, not this year.
No way.
No. And everything, everything hinges on the governor right now. The governor has vetoed.
That doesn't make me feel good. Sorry.
Well, yeah,
you agree.
I concur.
You concur without saying too much.
No,
I get it. You have to be very diplomatic.
No, I was just going to say, we need to oust her out and get a Republican governor in. We really need that Republican governor in, and I want to encourage everybody to get out and vote.
Yes,
we need to get people out to vote. Christians, especially. I don't know why you're not getting involved. We need to get you there. We need to get you out there because,
and the rural voter.
The rural voter, we need to get everybody out to vote. I'm so important.
I just touched on something that's really important for people to understand, especially living in the rural areas like we do. Mm-hmm. Maricopa, Phoenix, Tucson have so much more representation than we do in the rural areas because of how the system works.
Right.
The population density.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the way we overcome that is by getting a high turnout. And that's one of the things that propelled Trump into the White House.
Right.
All right. In 2024 was the fact that the rural voters turned out en masse.
They did.
And they overcame a lot of the metro area voting for his opponent, Mr. Biden.
Right.
So people cannot underestimate the importance of the rural voter.
Right.
And it's so critical to have participation.
Right. And one of the other things is that, in Arizona, we have about 30, it's split in three ways. We have about 30% Republicans, 30% Democrats, but we also have 30% independents.
Independents, yeah.
And
they tend to lean, I think, Republican, but they're independents for a reason.
Yeah, they're independents, but they believe, they believe in national security. They believe in election integrity. But a lot of them, especially some of the Hispanic voters, I think that that is a pool that is huge out there as part of the independent, and also some of the Democrats, which they can vote in the general, is the fact that we're pro family. Big issue there.
Big families too.
Big families. So that is huge, guys. The Democrats are not for the family right now. And it's sad to say, but it's a fact. And they're wanting to redefine what the family is. They're wanting to allow transgender people into the women's bathroom. They want them to compete in women's sports. All that kind of stuff does not appeal to the Hispanic and independent voter. And I think, and then also I spoke at the preborn.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah,
at the pro-life rally.
Pro-life rally. It was called the preborn state, the state preborn day.
That was on the 26th.
That was yesterday.
Yeah,
that was yesterday. I spoke at that one. It was great. I had a great time. I always like it, because I at this one I was asked to put on my pastoral hat. And I did. So I had a mini sermon that I worked up, and I just talked about the sacredness of life. Mm-hmm. That life is sacred because we are created in the image of God, and human life is sacred. Once we take that sacredness away from a life and take God away from that, from the one who has created life, then it becomes everybody does what they want to do with life.
Well, I happen to believe that it begins life at the moment of conception.
It is.
And it's not just a clump of cells until, the 6th day or the 20th day or whatever. Yeah. It is life.
Right. It's
life.
Yeah.
And if we could create life, which we do, but I'm talking about from scratch, would we destroy it? No way.
Yeah.
I don't think, but it's just so easy to say, well, it's a clump of cells, I'm going to get rid of it.
Right.
It's not a clump of cells.
It is not. And how it's affecting our society today is that because we are aborting our children on this end
in mass.
Now we have euthanasia coming into our country.
That's pretty accepted in Canada.
It is. It is. It is accepted in Canada. In fact, there was one young woman that I just read an article about. She was 15, young woman.
Oh my gosh!
And they deemed that she was a good candidate for for euthanasia, and she requested it because she was depressed. Well, who doesn't get depressed? You know. However, if you look at how society works, you're killing people on both ends. You're no longer valuing life. So people are killing each other in the middle with all this gun violence, and there is no value of life, no sacredness, no value of life. So now everybody's shooting each other. Nobody respects each other anymore.
Let's use that one word, respect.
Right.
Respect has gone away in so many ways.
Out the window.
I mean, and there's so many values that are integral to respect. Let me ask you this. Now, I'm not saying they're bad people, but I saw a couple in Walmart the other day still wearing their pajamas.
Oh.
I mean, right down to the slippers. When did that become acceptable? I mean, if you're going to wear your pajamas to Walmart, you can't get up, roll out of bed, put on a...
Hey, wait a minute. Time out. You don't think they're like fashionistas?
No, but I mean, it's just a gradual, general degrading of values.
Yes, it is a general degrading of values.
I think that's part of the same symptom.
It is. It really is. I do believe that.
You ought to see me in pajamas. You don't want to.
You don't want to see you in pajamas.
My wife puts up with it. You know, how have we gone down this road? You know, I mean, we were talking about.
I know.
So, I agree. So, summarize the rally real quick. How did that go? You put on your pastoral hat, gave a sermon.
So there was 5 speakers: Lisa Fink, Rachel Ketchel, Justin Olson, myself, and then the director for the pro-life movement organization that was hosting this, and not in that order, but so everybody spoke on the legislation that they were moving through, and I was able to speak. And I always like to bring illustrations, and that's why it's fun to talk about pajamas and things like that, because people remember that kind of stuff. So I talked about how life, God created life, and I said, and it starts at conception. And I said, the thing that really convinced me was when I was a young child, because I remember tadpole eggs.
Exactly. Yeah.
I remember
scooping up out of the pond, putting them in an aquarium, and watching them grow and live and little.
And it was just a dot when it starts, and then you would watch it, and there was a little tail of a thing that just came out of that dot and began to move a little bit. It was a tadpole. It was considered life right there. There was life there.
That's a good illustration.
So I used that until it grew big enough to come out of the egg, and so I used that one and to signify. And then I went back over to Psalms 139, where it talks about that I was woven in my mother. You wove me. God, you wove me in my mother's womb, and I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And how awesome are your works, O Lord.
What is the scripture that speaks to the fact that God knows us in the womb? There is something there.
It's 139. It's Psalms 139, verse, I think it was verse 13, 14. That's the one I used. I used yesterday.
Okay.
And I told it.
God is speaking. He says, "I knew you in the womb. I knew who you were." Something along those lines.
Right. Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah. So and I talked about, and when I used that illustration, I got applause all the way through my 4-minute presentation.
Good.
That's all I had was 4 minutes, and then I talked about my bill that I had to give up to someone else, but my bill was the one that says that you cannot use our tax dollars to promote and perform abortions with the use of access. You can't do that. And so that bill is still moving through.
Access is the state insurance.
Yeah, the SNAP.
A lot of people don't understand what that is.
The state insurance. So, we did that.
Do you think it's going to pass?
No, it won't. It won't pass. We need a Republican governor.
But
people, you got to get out there. I'm going to tell you this again. You need to get out there and vote. Please get out there and vote.
Christian vote. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
So
at least you're making a statement.
we made a good statement, and so the Planned Parenthood was supposed to have a outdoor event at the same time that we were having one.
In protest?
No, they were supposed to have an event just to promote abortion as healthcare, and that they heard that we were coming. They canceled their event.
Really?
Yeah, they did. But on the floor, they had a member go ahead and introduce them, and they made all kinds of noise up there. But we also, I also on the floor was able to introduce one of the affiliate groups, and then, I went ahead and I talked about the abortion issue as well, and I was able to really bring that home. So we started this conversation with, the family values that a lot of families have out there. We can't stay partisan anymore. If you believe in, you cannot be a Democrat and still think that they will represent your family.
Oh, right.
Your children.
I see the point you're trying to make. Yeah.
Marriage, marriage, family, having large families. Right now, Arizona and the country is basically in a population crisis. Our numbers are going down.
Right.
We are not producing offspring right now.
Right.
And we are in a crisis.
People say, so what? Well, there are huge productivity issues that raises. There's, society thrives on a thriving population that grows.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And China's in a real pickle right now. I heard some of the details. I can't say, but what they're having trouble. They're not finding workforce. They're not finding people to take over the next generations. They're in a real crisis, and that's because they were limiting their families to one person
per family for the lifetime.
Yeah,
of that family.
Yep.
Now they're trying to get people to have more babies.
I know, and we have been fed that lie, and people have bought it. Jeff, was it Bezos was the one that was talking about?
Bezos, yeah.
Bezos was talking about, that we need to reduce the population of the earth down to, 500 million or something yeah, 500 million. And I'm thinking,
is he the same one that said you'll eat bugs and like it?
well, I got to tell you, I like some bugs, especially the seafaring bugs, like crabs and lobster and so. We were at the red.
Okay, I'll go along.
We were at the Red Lobster, and I ordered a lobster tail.
How was it?
And a crab, and it was crab. I had some crab and lobster tail, and my little granddaughters were there with me, and they go, "Tata, are you going to eat that bug?"
And you told them, yeah, it's delicious.
I did.
So I got to tell you, when I lived in Florida, I was a scuba diver. Not only that, I was an instructor.
Oh, wow.
I owned a dive boat. I used to run dive charters and crew on boats that went to the Bahamas.
Wow.
And there's a season there for lobster tail. And every year, the Game and Fish, the equivalent of the Game and Fish, would let the sport divers start diving at midnight for 2 days before the commercial season opened.
Wow.
We would go out at midnight and dive and just go crazy. Of course, the limit, I think, was 6.
Okay.
But you could come up, eat a lobster tail, go down, get another one. And we would hunt lobster for 2 days, stock the freezer. Lupe, I had so much lobster, it would last for 6 months.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was really good, too. Yeah. Let me tell you. Florida spiny lobster, but I just had to tell you to make you a little jealous.
Oh, yeah. That sounds good.
So, all right, let's scoot back to talking about issues here.
So, we were mentioning the fact of the family. So, the pro-life, that day went well, and we were able to highlight, the fact that a child is a child at conception and that kind of stuff. So, and what we're doing is we're really highlighting families. Now, a lot of the legislation, and each one of the legislators that spoke had legislation on pro-life and family, but all of these are going to get vetoed. We know that. Now, the Democrats and the liberals out there are wanting to move and move away from the family tradition. And the reason is because communism only works if the state becomes the parent. And so, and I've heard even our own school superintendent say that, those kids belong to me. No, I've heard that. Yes. They do not belong to the state. They belong to parents. But that is a movement. That's a communist movement to try to destroy the family.
It usurps the parental and the familial authority.
It does. It really does. And we need to recognize it for what it is. Now, again, I'm appealing to those voters out there that may be independents or even Democrats, and that can vote in the general. You need to stand up for your family. Wages, the right to work is going to be really important too. The ability to be able to uphold property rights, conduct business, that kind of stuff is really key. And this is the thing that we've been battling here, not only in Arizona, but here locally as well with the aluminum plant. And so those are the kind of things
that by the way, Judge Borwick on the 26th ruled in favor of ADI and tossed out the lawsuit that was brought against it based on saying that the planning process was basically done incorrectly.
Right.
He tossed it out on the basis, as I understand it, of standing.
Mm-hmm.
That the plaintiffs didn't have standing because they didn't live within or they own property within a certain distance from the plant site. But anyway, It's been tossed out. That. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things that I want to say about the aluminum plant, and also the people that live within Benson, Arizona, Benson
area,
and the Benson area, ADI has 100 positions open out there, and the people spoke. I look at these kind of trends. There was 100 positions there. When they did their hiring
337 applicants.
That's right. 3 times the amount of applicants came.
Right.
And many of them, I know there's still more of them that are still waiting that would have liked to apply. So we're looking at a whole lot of people that are saying, we need jobs here. And I know the argument's going to be, we need jobs, but we need the right jobs. Well, what's the right jobs?
It's not fast food. It's not... there are certain jobs that we need and that exist in the community, but they don't sustain the community to the extent that these will.
Yeah. And again, here you are. Here you go. This whole inflation thing that's going up. The liberals are really pushing for the fast foods people to go ahead and have $15, $20, $25 jobs doing that. And that's not the way the economy works. The free market economy does not work that way. You have to have level entry jobs or, entry jobs in order for you to be able to thrive as a community. And it also incentivizes people to move from those jobs into something much greater and find, fulfillment and full potential in their own lives. Because if they don't do that, they're not happy.
Where Jack in the Box is? It used to be Galliano's.
Yes.
I was 14 when I started washing dishes there.
Right.
Did that for about 6 or 8 months, moved from that to another menial job. There used to be a steakhouse.
Right.
On the main drag across from where the Burger King is now.
Okay.
And I cooked and I waited tables there. And my point being, from those jobs, I learned the value of working, the value of a paycheck, the value of the dollar, and a work ethic that carried me throughout my career. And I had a very successful career.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I was always willing to put in the work.
Right. And move.
And move, yes.
And move if you needed to. Yeah.
But
yeah. So, we're looking at that, the 3 portions, that as we're going into the elections, one of the things that we consider is the fact that there's the one third Republicans, 1/3 independents, and 1/3 Democrats.
Right.
And that plays out when we're trying to going into this voting, going into this election season, especially with the governor's seat open this time around. And we need to get a Republican governor in.
How did the independent vote go for you?
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I did have a few. I did have a few independents on my
The
side.
reason I asked is because the independent's going to be critical for the governor's race.
Right. It is going to be critical for the
Because
governor's
Republicans and Democrats are probably going to fall pretty much along party lines.
race. Right.
So
That's right.
more than ever, the independents have to be convinced.
They do. They do. And again, just looking at, and I've talked to several independents, and one of the things that they don't like is they don't like the mudslinging. They don't like the contentious campaigns and stuff like that. They would rather us just deal with the issues and not and try to deal with the merit rather than all the mudslinging that can happen during a campaign. That's one of their biggest issues. Also,
I agree with that.
I do too. And one of the other things too is that, and it's tough because the Republicans want to stay to the far right, and you have party lines which you're polarized. You polarize everybody, but there's times that we're going to, I've got a group of Democrats that believe on Republican issues that will vote in the general election, for Republican seats.
Right.
I've talked to that, and that's a fact. That is a fact of the election process. It is. It's just part of it. And I think that, and that's why I really try to respect everybody that I talk to, whether they're Republican or Democrat. Doesn't mean I'm a rhino, by any means. I'm not a rhino. But I do respect the person and their ideas because they have, again, a First Amendment right, and they can voice their opinion. And a lot of times I can engage them and try to win them over, folks. We need to win people over. We can't just demand.
Based on the merits, not emotion.
Yes, absolutely.
And mudslinging.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Calling people names.
Yeah, we need to go back to reason and logic on the issues based on merit.
Look, on the ADI thing, I was looking at some postings online in the wake of the judge's decision to throw the lawsuit out.
Yep.
Same crap.
Right.
There were detractors, opponents who were saying, well, Borwick must be on the payoff, must be on payola. He's taking bribes. And then someone chimed in and said, just like the council and the PNC. I mean, that's so ridiculous. It's unnecessary. Just argue it on the merits instead of...
and people run to serve, their constituency. But when that kind of stuff starts coming back up again, I remember years and years ago, there was so much contention going on at the local level that nobody wanted to run for office.
Right.
And when this kind of stuff comes up, if you can prove it, then do it. But if you can't, then shut your trap.
Right.
I'm serious.
I agree.
Because what you're doing is that's defamation. You're coming against somebody's character. But you have no basis and you have no accountability because you're a keyboard warrior, supposedly warrior.
Right.
Get out of here. It's just somebody that's won't be able to stand up to somebody and say it to them in person.
Right. No,
I was going to
agree.
say something else, but I didn't want to get into some mudslinging.
All right. No reason for that. So we've been going almost 45 minutes. So let's cover a couple of things real quick. The ag bills.
The what? Oh, my ag bills.
Yeah, your two ag bills. Update us on that.
The two agricultural bills that I have, I do have one of them is the delisting of the wolves is really big and key for our area, our district. A lot of people do not understand or do not know. And there's nothing wrong with that. Do not know that we have a huge ranching contingency here.
Component, right.
Huge or component. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to delist the wolf. And delisting the wolf would remove it from the Protected Species Act that the federal government. We've appealed to the federal government with a letter. Every Republican signed that letter. It's my bill. It went to the President, Congress, the Department of Ag, and the Department of Interior. Is saying we need to delist the wolf and listed all of the reasons why. This wolf program has been a real problem because the wolf is a natural predator Just ask Little Red Riding Hood.
Okay, next time I see her, but you're right. I mean that they're a predator, an apex predator,
and it's an apex predator. That means it doesn't have any other predator other than a human,
right?
And so and yet and yes, they were eliminated for a reason, because they were coming in and doing a lot of harm, and they're now doing a lot of harm again.
Well, we're not calling for the elimination of the wolf, but control,
right? And that's going to be a hard balance to keep, because it's expensive, and it's, but control is giving the rancher the right to protect his property. Those cows are his property.
Mm-hmm.
That's his business venture. And if these wolves are coming into their ranges, and they cannot shoot the wolves, even if they are pursuing their property. That's eminent domain to me. Mm-hmm. The government coming in and taking control over the person's property.
That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, it's like someone breaking into your house.
Yeah, and taking things. So what we're doing is once it's delisted, then a rancher can go ahead and shoot them without having to face
they have to report it though.
They would have to report it. Those details haven't been finalized yet. What we have to do is take the first step of delisting. Then the next step would have to be setting the guidelines for some of that kind of thing. The animal rights people and everybody else is against all of this. Some of the wildlife, the National Wildlife Federation are coming against it as well. But the people,
you expect that?
Yeah, we expect that. I think I don't.
What are the chances of this bill passing?
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to pass.
No.
We need a Republican governor.
All right.
Everybody get out and vote.
Third time. All right. The other ag bill.
The other ag bill that I have is that one is also appropriating money, and that's it's appropriating money for the loss of the livestock for the ranchers. So my two ag bills right now are those two. I've had other bills as well, but those are the two main ones that are moving right now. I think that's good to look at that. I've got another bill that I want to talk about. It's the national security bill. I don't know if you realize how much our phones are really listening to us.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely, totally listening to us. And
I would encourage anyone watching this right now to Google on their phone, how do I know if my phone is bugged or if I'm being surveilled?
Oh.
And you can get an app and download it on your phone that'll tell you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I did with another phone, and it said, you are being surveilled by, and I forget, it didn't name the agency or anybody, but it said now so far, I've got the same app on this phone. So far, it doesn't say you're being surveilled, but a lot of people don't understand, even when it's just sitting there like that, if somebody has access to your phone number and your phone, they can put an app on your phone without you knowing it,
right,
and surveil everything you say.
That's right.
Where you go.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, Google Maps. If your location feature is on your phone, Google will give you a report on where you've been.
Yeah, I get that monthly.
Oh yeah,
because I can't remember half the time where I've been. So I wanted to, oh my gosh, I went there. How much did I spend?
So yeah.
No, they are a surveillance tool.
They are a surveillance
on
tool.
us, yeah.
And so are our cameras, anything that has a computer chip in it.
Now listen to this. This whole system that I'm using is connected to the internet within this building.
Right.
So I can sit off at my desk outside this studio,
right,
with my computer, call up what's happening right now and control it from that computer, just like I'm controlling it here.
Yes.
So what I had to do was I had to determine, how do I figure out and how do I block the signal from this studio from being hijacked, right? Mm-hmm. Surveilled by someone.
Right.
Well, there's a procedure you can go through that has to do with the code that's affiliated with this signal. And you configure it so that it's not going outside of a certain area and so that it's protected, can't be hacked. But you have to do that, or anybody could listen in, or surveil it, or whatever. So yeah, people have to be aware it's going to happen.
And that's why, with the election integrity, I think that the tabulation machines cannot be connected to the internet. They should not be connected. And people say, well, we have all the protections. No, you don't. No. Not with the kind of technology and the kind of things that are going on. China has been involved in our elections through the machines. I hear reports. I've been briefed on.
That's not conspiracy theory.
It is not conspiracy theory. We have been briefed on this kind of stuff, and there are bills that are moving through right now that deal with it. Now, my national security bill, all that says is that if you that any product, product that can be connected, I'm dealing with connectivity. Product that is connected to the internet cannot be that is made in China. Any product that's made in China that can be connected to our agency business, or agency anything, you cannot buy that kind of stuff. You have to disclose. The company that's selling products, let's say they're selling products, drones, cameras for police departments, telephones, anything.
If connectivity to
it's connectivity to the web, to the wide world web, the internet.
Web,
the internet. If it's connected, it could be hacked. And the reason is we know that China is looking in.
Sure.
So anytime a military drone or a police,
law
enforcement drone goes up in the air, they're mapping. They're taking that information. They're mapping everything. They're starting to map all the things. Now, Pima Community College, the Eastern Campus, right now, they have what is called a war room. They do, and I've been there. It's a huge screen. And this room is a small room, but it's filled with laptops and computers, and they're watching the attacks against certain agencies and stuff. And they've even had
in real time. I've heard of this
in real time. Even DPS.
Those hacking attacks that are being graphed.
Yes.
Yes.
And you have real time people on our side that are coming in and coming against them as well.
I've seen this, although not at the community college. I really don't want to say where, but there are agencies that can tap into the internet and tell you, okay, this business is being hacked right now, by 27 different hackers.
Right.
They can tell you if it's a state-sponsored hack or just a criminal enterprise or whatever. It's like I had one person tell me in law enforcement, it's like somebody knocking on your back door 27 times an hour.
Right.
When you look at the amount of hacking that's taking place.
Yeah. I was challenged at Pima College. They said because I was having trouble convincing law enforcement that they needed to do this. That you cannot buy your products from anything that is made from China. It's got to be it's got to be U.S. products, and even then they cannot have Chinese components in them. And some of the folks there at the college said, have him come over. All I have to do is look at his badge. I can tell him where he lives. I can get a picture of his house. I can do all of that. Like that.
Wow.
In fact, they were talking about how they could look at a block of residents or a neighborhood, and then find out how many times the fuel pump is being used by those people.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's just nuts. So my bill, this one has a chance of getting signed. All it's saying is that you cannot buy anything made in China, and if
99% of the world is made in China.
I know it is. These are connected, connectivity products.
I understand any component that can be connected to the internet.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And so that one's going through. listening to Hobbs' State of the State address, I think this one has and I've heard that it's got a chance of getting signed. She is, honestly, she's concerned about national security.
Well, good.
And, and one of the things that this is the second time that I ran this bill. She vetoed my first one. It went all the way through and she vetoed that.
Why? Based on?
I don't know. It was just not feasible for our agencies to buy products, from the United States and, markets, supply and all that. So, but at the same time, I know that our national security had written a letter to all the governors in the United States saying, be careful with your sewage plants. What are they called? They're
wastewater
treatment plants. Yes. China knows if you can, and they said that they were suspecting a hack on wastewater treatment plants to shut them down.
People say, "Well, big deal," but
yeah, you can. If everything backs up,
bring a city to a halt.
It would, and also if it stays that way long enough, the disease begins to spread.
Yes,
they know that.
Yeah,
so that's one of my bills. Yeah.
Well, Lupe,
I know.
On that note,
yeah, I guess we better. This has
backed
been fun.
up sewage.
I know, but these are really critical issues that we're really looking at, and I like to have fun with some of this kind of stuff where I can.
You have to laugh,
but it is serious. We are doing things to protect people, to make sure that things stay affordable, that we protect our families, that we protect your personal, constitutional, God-given rights. That is what we Republicans and I'm a Christian first. Christian, constitutional, conservative.
You're a pastor. The name of your church is
Grace Chapel here in Benson, Arizona.
Right.
And we're moving into a campaign season, and I've given you several reasons for why you should vote for me. And in the coming election, that'll be July 21st. And get out and vote. And I don't care who you vote for. Just get out and vote.
Participation.
But I prefer you vote for me.
Well, you got my vote. All right, and you're going to be coming back every couple of weeks.
Every couple of weeks, yeah, we'll be
doing
the
end of the session.
Yeah, during the end of the session. So it's going to start to quiet down now a little bit, but there's still a lot going on, and especially in our community, societies, and some of the bills that will be passed. I can keep you abreast of how that can affect us. So,
all right. Well, listen, I want to say one thing about a very good friend of mine. I'm going to mention Grand Canyon State Cooperative Association, GCSECA, Electric Cooperative Association. Their current CEO, Dave Locke, is retiring, and Jorge Kanaka, who's been their federal legislative liaison, basically was picked to succeed Dave Locke as CEO. I know Jorge, and a lot of you folks don't know him, but I just want to say give a shout out to Jorge. He's been there, I think, 10 years, maybe more. And he's done an excellent job. He looks out for the co-ops and for the people that use the cooperative electricity. And he's to be congratulated. Well deserved. Lupe, we're going to do something. I usually go to the one shot and I say, catch you next time, but we're on the two shot. So if we both look at that camera, that one right there, and just say, I'm going to say, catch you next time. And you say thanks or see you later or whatever. We'll end it like that. All right.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. My guest, Lupe Diaz, LD 19 State House. And let's do it again. This is always fun.
It is.
Catch you next time.
We'll see you. God bless you all. And you can find me on lupediazaz.com. Thank you.
Very good.